All right, so we're going to do a test on this camera. I'm way closer than the king over here. And it's a fight for me to try to remember how to do all this.
Level it up. I think the last foot is a little short.
That's what she said. So, this is a test, simple. I'm trying to get the 360 set up so when the boys come back in, we can have a little conversation with them before they go away tomorrow. One of them permanently, one of them a few days later.
Well, I wouldn't say permanently, but his time here
His time here is
is
done.
expired. He's been in elk every day he's been here, so he's had a good time. He hasn't killed one, but he's been in elk more times than he's ever been. So I think he's happy with that.
Well, but this is just a test to see if we can say something stupid like we have in the last 5 minutes, and all we've done is laugh to this point.
It's just a theory.
And then some some and Calvin, mute that, suggested that I should go ahead and get the camera out. So here's the camera, it's out.
I don't think we can talk about on here what we just talked about.
Well, this one will have to have a parental guidance if we do that.
Yeah.
But when the boys are here, it'll be good.
We were talking about gunsmithing. Alan been a gunsmith. I ran a gun shop, and I seen a whole bunch of wannabe gunsmiths. And I would always joke or giggle when somebody'd say, "Well, I got a lot of tools. I'm mechanical. I could be a gunsmith." What I would tell them is, I know something about female genitalia, and you probably don't want me to be your wife's gynecologist. Just because you know a little bit about something doesn't mean you're an expert.
And becoming an expert in a field like gunsmithing takes a long time.
Even the guys who graduate gunsmithing school, they have a lot of knowledge, but they don't have any experience. And gunsmithing is one of those things that just takes experience. And oftentimes they'll have a hard time getting hired as a apprentice gunsmith, only because somebody has to pay for their mistakes.
Yep.
And some of those mistakes,
And that is the truth.
yeah, some of
I
those
can't
mistakes
tell
can
you
be
how many
costly.
guys in the last 12 months have walked into that shop and they're like, "Well, I went to whatever online course," and I'm like, "So you're not a gunsmith?" "No, I've got a degree." "No,
Well, the school plays it up like they're ready to go fix
Oh, yeah.
the world. But there's just so many things they don't know because of the lack of experience. And it doesn't mean what they did was wrong. It doesn't mean what they did was bad. I think the school overplays it a little bit as to the reality of it.
Oh, sure.
But, they're trying to make money and...
Like I've got a really good friend that I shot 3-gun with, and we built ranges in our road together and did multiple things at Rock Castle Shooting Center before it went down. And 3-gun Thor, Todd Manker, love you, man. Todd Manker was a prison guard for the state of Illinois for quite a few years. And prior to his retirement, he actually went to a gunsmithing school, and I believe it was in Missouri, and drove like 2 hours, 3 or 4 days a week, and kept going until he got it, and he's doing
There's
great
a good one in
things.
Colorado, too. And they give you, I think the hands-on, you get a little bit more than you would from the online one.
Well, yeah, because
But either way, when you graduate, you don't have the experience that you need to be a full-time gunsmith.
But going to a hands-on school, you're actually doing the mechanical stuff, like learning
And you
how to
have more
use a mill,
conversation with the instructor.
how to use a lathe.
Well, just the conversation
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
and the instructor experience that he gives you. gives
I
you
think
a
if
little bit more
something like
knowledge.
that would have been available for me when I started, because I literally started screwing with 1911s in the military. I'd always piddle with guns and fix broke guns. But as far as having the ability to learn the machine trades earlier would have been a greater thing.
Well, the other thing is having 3-axis machines 20 years ago, only very wealthy places had them.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, everybody has them.
Well, now they have 5 and 8 axis.
Well, the ability to do things is things that were thought of 40 years ago that never came to light because they were too
yeah.
expensive to produce.
Oh, yeah.
Are now common practice now.
Yeah.
The,
99% of all firearms are produced
well,
on
even the accessories
mass.
that go to them.
Oh yeah,
It's not an original idea. It's just now it's affordable to produce.
yes, because the tooling became more affordable, the
huge.
machines became more affordable, and they've made the operating systems like G-code, which is what
And now you can print a prototype on a 3D printer
Yeah.
before you even put it on a machine.
and all that information is digitally saved,
Yep.
and you can use that to program the production
So,
machines.
I mean, a lot of things that people think, well, this is a brand new idea, maybe a 50-year-old idea that just never had the ability to make it
Correct.
functional. It was so expensive to produce, it never became a thing.
And that's always been an issue. And I saw that, when I first got out of the military, I worked at a machine shop, and my whole deal was learning to operate the machines, do things that I knew I needed to be able to do. Well, part of that, because you're talking about in the 90s was a low paying industry. $5 an hour to work in a machine shop, running production on CNC. And then I would sneak across to the manual shop and play on machines trying to learn. And luckily, one of the owners of the shop, a hell of a great person, saw that I had an interest and started teaching me. And that's where I learned all that. I don't have a CNC machine. I've got a mill still in my shop that has a digital readout, but I got rid of the lathe because I meant to tell Brandon this the other night. You ever crash a tool into a piece of metal at about 9,000 RPM? Only because, we talk about my trimmer and how bad it gets. But literally, my trimmer was coming on. I was stressing trying to get this job done. And I had a freaking jerk, and I was like 2,000ths from being finished. And I crashed a tool into it, and it slung this part and put a hole in the wall. It went right by my face.
I used to work at an auto parts store when I was a kid, and we'd do brake rotors and drums. And on a really busy Saturday, there was a fine balance between how much we want to take off in the first pass and buy new bits versus how many can we get out today and make enough money to pay for the bit and stuff.
No, that can be part of the blooper. But I want to say, folks, this is my very good friend, Charles Peters, and AKA Chip, but he's not my friend, he's like my brother. No matter how long we're apart, from the minute we're together again, it's like being with your brother.
We always pick up right where we left off.
Correct. And that's just to spend time with him is wonderful for me. And he's got a wonderful wife. We have a ton of mutual friends. And he's just a great guy, and he's passionate about elk hunting.
I'm just a guy and have an LLC to prove
Hey, I'm that other guy. So he's just, and I'm that other guy. And if you wonder why I came up with that, is I had like 10 seconds to figure out what I wanted to name the channel, and I'm like, well, I can't be just a guy. Why can't I be that other guy? But all that aside, in the last 3 trips spanning 20 till now up here, we've had a hell of a time. We ain't killed a whole lot, but that's not what this is about, even to me.
To me, it's more about the journey to killing it.
And that's the whole reason I started this channel.
When you kill it, it's just a lot of blooming work. But the journey to it, the journey is the whole thing for me.
Well, the journey is mostly frustration.
It can be.
And it's
like a wise man once said, where would you rather be?
Well, all right. So let me tell you folks about Charles' journey. In 2020, when he showed up here, his beard and hair was black. So was his truck. So he replaced his truck with a gray one. Guess what happened to his beard and his hair?
Yeah, walking up and down these things is a bit of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Well,
I don't go as fast as these young guys do, but I still go up and down.
Yeah, I don't go as fast as this old guy does either.
I'm not as fast as I used to be.
Well, you're every bit as fast as you were 4 years ago.
I don't know about that. I have my pace.
I think the best part is they stopped and waited on me, and I said,
I keep reminding myself.
someone stopped and waited on you?
I keep reminding myself, slow and steady wins the race. And you pick up a lot more when you go slow. You see
Well,
more
that's my
sign.
old deal. You know, you see I move, I'll go 10, 12 yards, I stop. And it 90% of the time, it's not because of the breathing, because we're not at altitude. What are we at?
It's-
Like 4,500?
Yeah, 5 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is still a lot higher than what
Oh,
we
yeah.
live at.
Yeah.
I mean, I live at like 800 feet.
Yeah, I think we're at 12 or 1,400. But I live in eastern Kentucky. But it just, I move slow. That's how I learned how to hunt elk in Kentucky.
There's a lot. You pick up a lot more sign. You pick up a lot more just moving slower.
Well,
You'll see things you wouldn't normally see.
and if you'll move and stop and move and stop,
You hear
you'll
more.
hear way more than you ever would just plowing through,
Yep.
trying to force your way and doing whatever. And that's like, I'll have customers like, go, why aren't we there yet? And I said,
Well, unlike deer, elk make a lot of noise when they move.
well,
slow.
sure.
So making noise isn't the end of the world, but you still get more when you move slower.
Yeah, you can move slow and call, and you'll pull that one animal out of the herd.
Or you'll pick a different direction and maybe
Yeah.
it's closer.
Yeah.
The
You know, and to me, that's always, I've always liked still hunting. And you've got into that in the last couple of years, just walking through the woods. You move slow, you call, or
Patience.
you just move and stop and listen.
it's hard to
and
be
watch.
patient.
I'm old and fat. What else do I have
As
to
you get
do?
older, patience becomes easier.
Yeah, well, guess what? Evidently, I'm older than you because you're not as patient as me. But guys, I just wanted to have this little chat with Chip. We're waiting on the boys to come back, and
The boys we're referring to is my nephew and his brother.
Yep.
Two really, really solid.
awesome people.
We call them boys. They're young men. Probably anybody under 30. I call
They'll
them.
always be boys until they catch us.
Yeah, everybody under 30 is a kid to me.
And anybody that sees this, just so y'all know, you need to go to That Other Guy Outdoor, or to Just Another Guy LLC, and subscribe and wish Chip a happy 60th birthday.
I haven't put that channel together yet.
You suck.
Yeah, I do.
Go to my channel
All the
and
other
wish
stuff-
him a happy 60th birthday.
All the other stuff I took down when I sold the business and all
because he's crying and saying that,
that. I'm in my 50s.
yeah, for what? How long?
A little while.
Yeah, a few days. I'll make him subscribe and I'll link it to him. That way he can get his 60th birthday wish.
I'm in my 50s. Late 50s. 50s.
Well, ain't none of us getting any younger, and all I can tell you is after 40 years, it's still as much fun as it was when I met you. But the entire reason we're doing this and not hunting is because there's a big weather front, and we're both achy because we're old,
I
fat,
have
and ugly.
arthritis.
Yeah, arthritis is bad.
Arthur is a son of a bitch.
Yeah, yeah. But we decided, because of the weather front that's supposed to be coming in, we were going to stay in tonight and let the young dogs go get wet and carry wet gear tomorrow. But guys, I'm going to shut it off here, and we're going to wait on the boys to come back because I really want to do something with them before they leave. So thank y'all for watching. If you like it, subscribe, and we'll talk to you all soon.